So this is a Strength for Cyclists class. And I was thinking about this as I was preparing. I was like, oh man, in my mind, all the exercises benefit us somehow. But just focusing on cycling in general, you know, as we know, as we're doing the push and pull of the pedal stroke, there's force repeatability, right? So what does that mean? It means it's a single leg sport and that produces force independently, right? So that's, hopefully we all are aware of that. And thinking about the muscles in general, we have the primary muscles, quads, right? Hamstrings on the back. So quads on the front, hamstrings on the back, glutes or your bum, whatever you want to say, call them, and then our calves. So just taking those muscle groups and being cycling specific, right? I was thinking, okay, how can we work on our strength with these primary muscles? Okay, just focusing on that right now to start. So real quick, I also made this body weight, okay? Just know that you can utilize weights if you have it. Okay, so if you guys want to follow along at home and do these with us, and I can kind of look at you guys. Well, hold on, I've got a board here, and for some reason it's not. There we go. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to just start with the very basic exercise of squatting. Okay, and I just want to see what you guys do if you squat, and I just want to watch you, and then I'll kind of make a little suggestion or two if necessary. So how would you here in house, just go ahead and squat for me. Okay, so, and then come on up. So up and down, like do 5 reps. Up and down. Perfect. So if we're having a heel lift, what I want you to do is to go a little bit wider than shoulder width and actually sit your butt back and down, okay? And go, yeah, there you go. About 90 degrees, right? And then actually push through the feet as you stand up. Because think about that. When you're on the pedal, what are you doing? You're pushing down, right? And then pulling up. So let's go ahead. I'm going to time you guys for this one, maybe. And there's my timer. We got 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm just going to come through here in house and make little suggestions if necessary. Here we go. Yep, we're squatting down and up. Yeah. You might put your arms out here. Yeah, that looks great. And I'm going to tap you to stop right there and then come back up. Perfect. Yeah, you don't need to go into like a deep squat or anything. That's not, we don't need to do that when we're cycling. And of course, a way to make this more challenging, we've got 5 more seconds, would to be holding a weight, right? Go ahead, you can stop. So that's just your basic squat. I want to go through all this and then we'll kind of turn it into a circuit. Okay. And if you're starting to get hot here in house, I do have fans behind you. Okay. So we just did a 2-foot down squat. So what does a single leg squat look like? Which would be that independent force, right? That we're working on. This is definitely more challenging. I would be careful, maybe just watch this one. So starting with our right foot, okay, I want you to just step back with the left foot and look, you're just going to come down like this and then push through the foot that's on the floor. Okay, so keeping the foot all like pressing through the floor and now come up. Yes, you guys at home doing this? No? See that? So push through the foot, just like you're pushing down on a pedal, keeping the whole foot in place. Yep. That looks great. Yes. You've got 10 more seconds. Good. We're almost there. 5 more seconds. And time. Switch legs. Let's see. You might feel that maybe one leg is weaker than the other. So we're down and then push through that foot. Good. Push. Push. It's all about that push. And if you can kind of mimic that thought of pushing through a pedal, even better, because that's what you're doing. Push. Try to keep the heel down. Yeah. Just we'll have some, you could just maybe watch, or the next set we'll have more glutes time. So that's your squat and single leg squat. Okay, both are very good. We got a layer peeling off already. I like it. We're working hard. All right, so next up, let's focus on your glutes and hamstrings. Okay, so we're gonna actually take it down to the floor. We get to lay down. This step, we'll be utilizing that. So you're gonna lay down on the floor. See, yeah, they can see me. And I want your feet to be hip width apart. There we go, yeah. So we're looking for our ankles, knee, and hips to be in alignment. And from this position, what I want you to do is go ahead and tuck your pelvis. So if you have an arched back right now, I want you to focus on pressing your lower back down through the floor first and foremost, okay? Because we don't want to do this with an arched back. From this position, I want you to squeeze your butt. Hopefully you can squeeze it. And now press through your heels and press your hips up. All right. And here I want you to squeeze and then bring them back down. This is called a hamstring bridge. Keep your head down. Okay. And I'm just going to come through here in house and make little corrections if needed. And your head can be down. Now up and down. There we go. Does anybody want a pillow for their head? No, we're good? Okay. Up, and I want you to focus on squeezing, actually squeezing the glutes, the booty. Good. So we're squeezing here. At home, I hope you're squeezing up and down. It's just a hip drive. Good. We've got 13 more seconds, and I'm going to make it a little bit more challenging. So at home, you're just driving the hips up and down. All right, if you're like, wow, that didn't really feel like much. Well, let's make it a little bit harder and take it into that single leg mode. Extend your right leg up in the air. Now, do your press here, bridge here. So up with the hips, but leaving that left foot planted, up and down. Hold it for a brief pause. This is not fast. Drive that foot. A lot of people don't focus on driving through the foot that's on the ground. Good. Perfect. Up and down. Nice. 2 and 1 time. We're going to do the other foot now. Go ahead and switch. Other leg up in the air. Begin. Up and down. Oh, yeah. Does anyone here feel like one leg's weaker than the other when you do this? No, yes, they both feel weak. So that's why this is so great to do single leg training. So we can try to even out the strength in the legs. Good. We've got about 5 more seconds, and then we're going to stand up. 9. All right. Those look great. So that really hits the back side. So at home, if you have an opportunity to grab like a small step, that would be very useful for this next exercise, which is step ups. Okay. Love step ups. I gave you guys a lower platform here because I just tried to, I had no idea, where we were with that. Obviously, a way to progress this would to be giving yourself a higher step. I see a lot of folks in class do these incorrectly, so I'd love to go over form. So why don't everybody put their right foot up on this step? Immediately, I want you to look down and see where your left leg is. Is it back here? I really want it to be as close to the step as possible. I want everyone to pretend like their left leg really isn't there, okay? And we're going to press through. Let's not do it. We're going to press through the foot that's on the step, a slight hinged position. So we're not like this. We're here. And now we're going to drive and come up. And then you're going to slowly bring that left leg down without letting it plop. I like to pretend there's a fluffy cloud on the floor and I don't want to go through it. So I do it very slow, and this left leg stays straight, drive through the foot, and then come back down try not to use that left leg. And what I mean by that is you don't want to do this. You don't want to use that. See how I'm kind of bouncing off that left leg? I'm cheating. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the time on and let's just see how these look. Slow and controlled. Drive. Go ahead. Begin. Drive through the foot that's on the step. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'll go this perspective. So slightly hinge, getting that foot nice and drive through and bring it up. Drive through. Good. Switch legs. Let's see the other leg. 3, 2, 1. So our left foot's up there now. Right? Push through, come up, come down softly. Try to keep that back leg straight. Good. It's great. Obviously, another progression aside from making the step taller, can always hold on to weights. Okay, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, so obviously that's going to be more quad, glute, and hamstring. We're moving on. We've got deadlifts. Who here knows about deadlifts? Figures, Lynn. Yeah, of course you would. That's right. Yeah. No. So a lot of times the deadlift is done incorrectly. So we're probably going to just spend a little bit more time on this one than we are with the other exercises, just because if you learn it incorrectly and then you start to move into utilizing weight, things can go awry. So how I teach the deadlift is I put my hands on my thighs, okay? And I have what's called a soft knee. Everybody check their feet. The hip width apart is fine. We don't want to be like this, okay? Hands are on our thighs. We're going to go ahead and pull our shoulder blades back. So I call this a Superman or Superwoman chest, whatever you want. That way we're not like this. Look how sad I look. We do not want to be in this position. So pull back the shoulder blades. Everything's nice and tight, belly's tight. We're going to paint our thighs with our hands, okay? And we're going to do that as we start to push our butts back, keep that soft knee, paint those legs, paint the legs, push the butt back. All right. And I'm looking, ooh, that right there. Perfect. All right. So we're here. You should feel this in the back of your legs or your hamstrings. If you're really tight, maybe your calves, your butt. Are we kind of some of us there? I would straighten the knees. There you go. So make sure you're not squatting, okay? So let's go ahead and paint our legs back as we stand. We're just gonna work on that movement, also known as a hip hinge, okay? Another visual I like to use is pretend you're gonna shut a car door with your butt, okay? How would you do that? You'd be like, boop. You just, use that butt, your hands are full with groceries and you gotta shut the door, okay? So let's focus on that. I'm going to put a minute on the clock so I can come here in house and really make any corrections as needed. Okay, here we go. Paint your thighs, soft knee, press your butt back. Let's see. My one tip is to focus on getting the booty back. Look at Lynn here. She looks great. Yes. And what I also am looking for is a nice flat back. I don't want to be rounded like this. Oh, that hurts my back. We don't want that. So even if you're just painting until your knees, but maintaining that neutral spine, much better. Yes. Then that's okay. Keep those shoulder blades pulled back. Yeah. That's really good too. All right. These are all fast learners. Yes. Great. You got 10 more seconds. All right. So hopefully, let me come in a little bit closer, really focusing on pushing that butt back. See that flat back versus this. All right. Time. And that is once again working what's called the posterior chain, the back side. All right. Here's where things get real fun. When we go single leg. Yes, Lynn knows. I still use a wall because of the balance component of this exercise. So feel free if you want to, get close, you could use the bike for balance. So how do we do this? Well, we get in that same position, right? For me, I like to just take my right hand and know that this is going to be my reacher hand, or my painting hand, if you will. So if I'm going to go, I'm going to tip forward. Let's see. I'm going to try to speak in such a way that we're all on the same side. Our left leg is going to be on the ground. So Bob, flip the other way. Face this way. So we're all doing, yeah, make sure Lynn doesn't kick you in the face. Okay, so with our right hand, let me come up here. We're gonna paint our left thigh. So hold. Some of us may have really tight hamstrings. So we're gonna bend our left knee, paint the thigh with our right hand as we tip forward and then come up. So Sam, put that left foot on the ground and now you're gonna kick your right leg behind you. There we go. It's okay. So paint that left thigh. You know you're doing this right if you feel like a stretch in the back of that left hamstring. If not, you may need to adjust your form. Let's see. I'm trying to think where we can put you. Come up a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah. Now keep this leg up behind you. Now as you're gonna go here and you're gonna tip forward. It's a tipping. You want your chest almost parallel to the ground. There you go. Take that leg up a little bit higher.
Like this?
Yeah. Yep, bend and okay. This is a hard one. We're not expecting perfection today. Let's do 8 more seconds. Your other leg might feel a little different. And time. Okay, so now everyone turn this way. So now our right leg is going to be on the ground. We're going to paint with the left hand. So whoop, there we go. So let me come here. That right hand's on the ground, or the right leg's on the ground. You're going to tip forward and paint. I can't see you, so only one of you. Okay, so it's a hinge still, but with the one leg. Good, Mary, that looks great. How's that feel? Yeah, you do. Yeah, I would just go for just 2-foot hinging, what we were doing before. Oh, yeah. The single leg stuff is a lot more challenging. So, or a kickstand. Yes. I'm going to talk with Bob after class. Yeah. Another easy way to do this is to have your back foot on the ground and not actually taking it off the ground. That'll help a lot. So let me take time. So let me just show you. Lynn brought up a good point. We can do what's called a kickstand deadlift, where you have the support of your back leg. Okay. So, and we're gonna hit this one more time. So keep that excitement up. All right, calf raises. We all know calf raise. You can utilize a step at home if you have a step. I gave us steps here, but you could just do them off the ground, which is just popping to the toes. All right. Yeah. Very simple exercise. Maybe hold it up there. You can also make just little changes with your foot placement. Yeah, so up and down. And then another thing you can do to make this a single leg option is to, if you have a step, we're not going to pull our steps off here, but you can just do it without, face the wall and then tuck your other leg behind and just pop to your toe that way. So let me show you guys at home. So we're here and I'm just move that down so you guys can see me. Up and down. I'm gonna time us here for 30 seconds per foot. And if you do these long enough, you'll start to feel a good burn. Up and down. I call it the pop and drop. So we're popping up and then dropping the heel. Good. Whoo. 8 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch. So go with the other leg tucked behind the calf and single leg, left leg, calf raise. Up and down. Good. Woo. We'll have one more after this. So we've got about 15 more seconds. Same thing here. Does one calf feel a little bit weaker than the other? I know my left one does a little bit. Yeah. 3, 2, and 1. All right. And then our final one is going to be a core one. We had to throw that in. So if you're down in the handlebars, we're actually activating, as you should be aware of. So let's drop it to the floor. So you can either hop or go to your elbows or straight arms, depending on if your wrists are bad. You can, yeah, or go to elbows. So we're here in this position. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure our shoulders and elbows are aligned, okay? Or if you're here in a straight arm position. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pop up to our toes. This would be what I call an advanced version. And we're basically going to squeeze everything. I like to pretend that there's a glass of water on my lower back, and I do not want it to spill, okay? If you're feeling lower back pain, let me know, okay? This looks good. A modified version of this would be to drop to the knees. Totally fine. You can still engage the core here. I like to come over and check everyone by saying, don't let me push you over. Don't let me put, so tighten up even more. There you go. Hold that. Don't let me push you over. Good job. Don't let me push you over. Nice. Here, coming over. We've got 10 more seconds. Oh, yeah. So see that when I say don't let me push you over, you tighten up. That's what you want. 2, 1, time. Flip to your side. We got to hit those obliques. All right. So you can either do a modified version by stacking your knees on one another, or the harder version would be straight legs. Again, I want you to make sure that your shoulder and elbow are aligned. You don't want to be like this, or that's going to hurt really bad. So we're here, we're going to roll forward, pop up, the chest is pointing straight ahead. We don't want to be like this with that shoulder pulled back. I say pretend there's a string on your hip pulling you up to the ceiling. All right, roll forward. Yeah, can you put that arm up? You know you're doing it right if things are shaking underneath. So the side closest to the floor. Nice. Everyone is looking really good here. All right. You've got 10 more seconds.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I don't think I do.
Push the hips up as high as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Time. We got to obviously do the other side. So I call it the break dancer move. Slide. Okay, so now we're going to hit the other side. Ready, and up. Nice. Check that elbow. Make sure it's underneath the shoulder. Good job. You want that hip up as high as it can go. Good job. These look good. My little string is pulling you up. Oh, there you go. Looks good, Bob. You got 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Time. All right.
Okay, that was challenging.
Well, now things are going to get real crazy. So I just kind of took you through all that. How would you do it at home, right? In a circuit style. Okay, so for those of you who feel so inclined, as we are going to do these 6 exercises again, if you want to use weight, feel free to grab either dumbbells or kettlebells. If you at home have weights that you want to use, by all means, okay? Or if you're like, you know what, not today, not today. I'm going to take us through this, all right? I'm going to time us, all right? And we're going to just do each exercise again, okay? So I want you to remember it, all right? So I'm going to have you use the TRX for the squats and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start with squats. So remember that, I'm gonna set 30 seconds on the clock. We're gonna move through this. We'll have like a 10-second break in between each exercise, okay? Who's excited? We're working out. We're having a good time. You gotta have a positive mindset. You gotta say, this is gonna benefit me. Otherwise, it's a real drag. Okay, so we're gonna start with our squats. Okay, if you want to hold on to weights, you can. Remember, I want the weight and the full foot. No knees forward, no heels lifted. Pressing through the floor about midpoint up. We do not have to go ultra deep. That's not really beneficial, okay? Because our pedal stroke is only taking us here anyhow. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Begin. So up, push through. If you're just doing body weight at home, you can always hold it. Yep, a kettlebell or weights, like so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, that's time. Guess what? We're going into those single leg squats now.
Definitely don't want this.
No, that's a big guy right there. Okay, so we're here and we're gonna squat. Just like that, pressing through the one leg. Press through. We're pushing the hips back. Yes.
So it's a reverse lunge.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Yes. Drive through that foot. Push. Switch legs. Woo! 3, 2, and 1. We're going with the other leg now. Nice. Push the hips back. We're looking great. Are you good? Do you need a fan on you? Getting hot back here. You're good? Okay, okay. Just checking. I want everybody to be comfortable as you're going through the. Yeah. 2 and 1. On your backs now. We got the hamstring bridges. All right, so check those feet. Make sure that they're hip width apart. Go ahead and check in with that lower back. I want it on, press down through the floor, no arched back. And now from here, push the hips up and squeeze it up and down. Pressing through the floor again with those feet. We're actually engaging the muscles, so your glutes are squeezed at the top. Squeeze and bring them down. Should not be doing this fast. That'd be a thrusting motion. We're not doing that today. Right there. Correct. No thrusting. We're bridging. We're bridging. We're bridging. Good. All right. Go into a single leg option now. Put that leg straight out. We're going to go one leg up and just pressing through the floor with the other foot. Begin. All right. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move closer to your butt. There you go. All right, up and down, up and down. So a brief pause at the top, focus on squeezing. 5 more seconds and we're gonna switch legs. Time, switch it. 3, 2, 1, begin. Up and down. Woo, yes. Up, squeeze. You'll hear me say that a lot. Just squeezing the glutes, activating them. Good. 10 more seconds. 5. And time. We need to stand up. We have the step ups. So remember, right foot is on the step. If you want to hold weights, you can. If you want to make this just a little bit more challenging without adding height, you can always step up and bring that left knee up, and then bring it back down. So push through the step and come down lightly. Begin. Good. Yes. So try not to assist with that other leg. Remember that. You don't want to push off of it. We want that leg on the step doing all the work. Pushing through, just like you're pushing through on the pedal stroke. Push and pull. Good. Push and pull. Switch. 3, 2, 1. Left foot up. Begin. So pushing through, coming down lightly. You can see this also will work your balance too. Yep. Nice. 15 more seconds. Looking great. 10 seconds. And time. All right, we're on number 4. We've got those fun deadlifts. All right, so if you want to use body weight, you can. Holding on to a weight, you would have a kettlebell in front of you, or dumbbells would be right in front of your thighs. Remember, we're going to paint the thighs, push the butt back, and then pull through. Okay, so if you're gonna hold on weight here, yep. Bring that weight in between those feet and then pull up. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more time on this one just so we can focus on form. All right, begin. You want some dumbbells heavier? Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, so at home, see that nice flat back? You don't want to be rounded. No, if your shoulders are rounded, your back is probably like so. Okay, so push your hips back. Think about keeping the shoulders pulled back. 5 more seconds. And time. There we go. Single leg deadlift. So how would you hold the weight here? You were using a weight. So let's put the weight in our right hand, or if you're just doing body weight, remember you're going to paint the left leg here. Tip forward, slight bend at that knee in the left leg. There we go. You want to kick that back leg up, or you can do a kickstand where you keep the back foot on the floor. So just like that, pushing the hips back like so. Those of you who are a little bit more advanced can take that back leg off the floor. Again, I like to hold on to the wall for balance just so my hips aren't shifting every which way. Good. Remember, you're trying to hit or close a car door with that booty. Good. Slide bend at that left leg. Let's turn it around. Other way now. So right leg on the ground. We got the left hand painting the right leg. Or you can keep your back foot down. Push it. Push that right hip back. Woo, yeah. Okay. On the ground. Ooh, there you go. Yep, come all the way up. You do want to stand tall so you can take some pressure off that low back. You've got 15 more seconds. And again, give yourself grace today. If you're like, I am not getting this, and this is the first time you've done this, that's acceptable. We keep practicing. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's go into our calf raises. We're popping it. Okay, just up on our toes, just like that. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Pop. You don't even have to bring your heels all the way down too. You can just go here if you want to hold the wall and just pulse it. That's going to keep them activated a little bit more. So if you were just taking a break in between each one, whatever works. Pop, pop, pop. We're not going to do the single leg version of this, okay, for time. So really get some good ones in. You've got 20 more seconds. Good. Yeah. Again, yeah, a couple of you are holding weights, totally fine to make that progression. You can also have a step to do these off of. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's pop it down to the floor. We got that plank hold. For those of you who want to take a little bit more of a progression here, you can always hold that plank and then alternate reaching out with the hands. All right, so we're here. You're holding it really, really tight. You can also reach out to make it a little bit harder. You can drop to the knees to make it a little bit easier. But I want you to make sure if your lower back is kind of hurting, press your hips up just slightly. Squeeze the stomach. Good. You're almost there. 10 more seconds now. You're squeezing it. And you're breathing, I hope. 3, 2, and 1. Flip to your side. We have side planks. Remember that one? You can either do them on your knees or with straight leg, elbow and shoulder are aligned. And we're going to pop up and hold it. 3, 2, 1, begin. Remember, we want that hip up as high as it can go. The chest is looking out. We're not rolling forward. Good. Uh-huh. Five more seconds, and then we're going to flip over. Okay. Turn over to the other side. So,
That's right.
yeah. And now we're going to go here, either straight leg or the knees are bent. This is an easier option. Less body weight to be pushing up. Good. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Done. You did it.
That's a full circuit. How about that?
That was the full circuit. How about that? Okay, you guys are really quiet.
I'm sweating.
It's so so that was our circuit that we just did. I wanted to give you guys just like that feeling of what it would look like if you just had 20 minutes to do this, right? Like, and you can make progressions, like I said, with the adding weight if you have that capability. Otherwise, just doing the body weight stuff is still a really great workout, right?
So I do bridges with an inflatable ball.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's ways to make all these exercises just a little bit more challenging, but I really wanted to show you guys, some of you who especially are not doing anything, that you don't need anything to do something. Does that make sense?
That is pretty profound.
Yeah. So yeah, because of course in my mind, I could go really far with this, but if we just take it to the simple movements without having equipment, it can be effective. Okay. So I'm a firm believer in year-round strength training. Okay, obviously I don't know the backgrounds of everyone, but if you have an off season, like with the weather being the way it is, great way to kind of cross train is to do the strength training right now, until the weather gets nice and then you're more into your cycling. But I am a big proponent of it myself personally, and I know that my strength training carries over to my cycling in big ways, and also outside of cycling, it's just good as we're all getting older, right? We want to try to preserve as much lean muscle mass as we can. So it'll just benefit your life in so many other ways aside from just, getting stronger on the bike. Okay, so think about that. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I will get this I'll type that up and send it out to Mary, and then she can share it with you guys, so that way you have something to, go off of in terms of your circuit. And, whatever you have time for, right? You can just start with 10 reps. You don't have to do, I just did it time because of the way this is, but you can start with 10 reps and then progress in your reps. And then, like I said, adding weight if you can. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. I think everybody looked really good. Questions or comments?
Well,
Comment, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Bikers,
Yeah.
we are renowned for having the worst bone density of
Oh.
any athlete. Because our weight is on the saddle.
Yeah.
We don't do weight bearing exercise, so
Right.
this is great
Yes.
to add this in. If all
Absolutely.
you do is ride.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, for the folks who just cycle, it's really imperative that you start to incorporate this. So, in any fashion that you can, just make it accessible to yourself and easy. Grab a buddy or a friend and say, let's do this, holding each other accountable. Because yeah, I think it's really important just for that reason alone, so thank you for bringing that up.
how-
Yeah. Oh,
Go for it.
I was just gonna ask, about, using resistance bands.
Yeah.
Particularly for quad development. What do you use?
what type of, are we talking about a band like this or a band like this?
Well, yes, I have the bands without all that stuff on the outside. just
Right, just a tube,
Tubing, yeah.
yeah. So I'm
And
just
I
thinking,
have a bunch of this stuff as well.
because these would be really great, the mini bands,
Yeah.
for, you could just slap that on around both of your legs, I mean. You'd want something, you could work, I don't know what resistances you have, but just,
Uh-huh.
doing stuff like that,
see.
gosh,
Uh-huh.
you could even do this one. So if you have a mini band, you could extend,
Oh, there you go.
The glutes.
yep, do the glutes, the butt,
You could do it on your bridge.
you could do it on a bridge, I mean, really, if you can wrap the band around your legs,
Yeah.
you could do anything, really.
Well, okay,
So,
Yeah.
that,
yeah, okay,
um,
thanks, yeah, good.
So how often should one be doing these exercises? You running sort of like the pros, I go to the gym every day and blah, 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 and then I go for a 40-mile ride, 3 times a
right,
week.
so that's gonna be different for everybody based on your scheduling, right?
Yeah.
So, and depending on what's your priority? Is your
Yeah.
priority cycling
Hmm.
for the time being? So if you think, I don't know, you have seasons, I guess, so like an off season for me would be, I'm gonna put in maybe a little bit more strength exercise than I would during the warmer months when I'm out riding more.
Okay.
I don't know if that really answers your question, but you also want to make sure, and I know a lot of people overlook this, is recovery.
Yeah.
So
That was more sort of yeah.
so you don't want to go too crazy, and that's, like I said, it's going to be different for everybody based on your age and who you are, and just listening to your body. Like if you're feeling really fatigued on your ride and like you just, let me back it up. You're not going to be going really hard, I wouldn't think, on your weight training sessions. Like you're not trying to beast it out, right? You're just trying to maintain fitness and get a little bit stronger, more power, more endurance. So yeah, I mean, incorporating a couple days, I don't think would hurt, a couple days.
2 to 3 days is
Yeah.
what we say for general strength
Yes.
training, so it would be the same for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 to 3 times a week, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once is not enough. Again.
No, yeah, definitely more than one time, right? So yeah, I agree with Lynn
Thank
on
you.
that one. 2 to 3 would be great. 3 on off season. Who else? All right.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, thank you.
It's great.
Yeah, and I just because of time's sake, but there are, I would call them kind of counter exercises that I would always suggest that you do that aren't based on, the primary muscles that we use, so the upper body, so throwing, that's a whole other session. Yeah. Push-ups would be a great one, obviously, but there's rows, like any type of pulling exercise, for your back muscles. And then even our shoulders are engaged on the bike when you're supporting yourself, right? Think about the things like if you do go on a long ride, what do you feel like the next couple of days? I know when I have done a really long ride, I'm like, man, my traps, or and it might be because of how I'm riding on the bike or whatnot, but it is good to strengthen all this up here, just so you feel more comfortable on the bike. That's what turns me away from long rides. I'm like, I'm just like, I'm achy or whatnot. So it's always just good to kind of do an overall fitness regimen if you can. So, but again, I could only really focus on one thing. So I thought just the primary strengthening for cycling was our best bet for today.
Absolutely.